All right, Pawpaw, we got some questions for you.
Well, hey, what we got?
All right, question number 1. What part of farming brings you the most joy?
Well, the most joy I get is after all chores are done, or on in the evenings, just riding through the cattle, looking at them when there's no problems going on. That gives me the most joy. As
Yes,
far
sir.
as just simple pleasures, and if you don't enjoy that, you don't really need to be in the cow business. 'Cause
Right.
that's the enjoyable part. Seeing them healthy, eating right, and all that. That's that's most enjoyable time. Now that's on as far as the cattle and the farm part. Naturally, I enjoy my family the best of all.
Yes,
I
sir.
mean, my grandchildren, I just love them, and we just have the most fun. We do it all. You wouldn't believe all the things we do. We can't tell y'all all them things, but we do everything. We ride the horses, we go swimming, we go places, and we do everything.
Yes, sir. We got some questions specifically about the cows.
Okay, what y'all got? I might can answer it, but you know, it's one thing you got to remember. I've had cattle, been in the cattle business my whole life. I'm a third generation cow person, and I went to school, and then I actually went to college and got a bachelor's degree in agriculture, and which helped me a lot, but uh, it didn't make or break me. You know,
Yes,
I
sir.
started with nothing, and it makes a big difference where you at in the country.
Mhm.
And it could be 20 miles down the road. It's a difference in how you handle your cattle.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what would it be?
The first one is, how long does a cow usually live and produce calves?
Okay, that's a good question. These the crossbred cattle, the Brahma cattle,
Mhm.
some of those cattle that we use, if they half blood or better, and that means they half Brahma,
Yes, sir.
and they'll live up to 10 to 15 years and produce you
Wow.
10 to 12 calves, no
Mhm.
problem, some more. Now, what we call the Okie cattle, which is the English breed, and that's more or less like the Black Angus.
Mhm.
Everybody's familiar with that, and the Hereford. They have a much shorter lifespan,
Okay.
so you can't expect over 4 calves out of them at the most.
Yes, sir.
And then if you think you might be getting more of that, but when you really start keeping tabs, then they start getting culled out all the time,
Mhm.
way before the Brahma cattle.
Mhm.
So the Brahma cattle are the longer lived cattle. The more
Okay.
Brahma you got in them, the longer they live.
All
But they're
right.
hard to handle, and most of your packers don't want a lot of Brahma blood mixed in it because they don't marble as well.
Yes, sir.
So if you take a half blood Brahma down here and breed her to a full blood Charolais, Black Angus, something like that, and that's what they call a quarter blood. You have a quarter Brahma, and the rest is English or exotic. Exotic would be Charolais, something like that.
Mhm.
The packers like them.
Okay.
They feed really good. They grow real big, and they marble well.
Okay.
And their health is very good. When you start getting into purebred English, your health starts going down, in the feedlots because they just can't take the heat. And, naturally they can take the cold, but the heat's the problem.
Yes, sir. All right, one more question. How long do you keep a bull before you replace the bull?
Well, a lot of people don't like the bulls breeding back to their heifers, but I
Mhm.
don't pay anything attention to that. You just keep that bull as long as he's healthy and he still has good sperm count. Like if you have him tested in the spring before it's time to turn him in, he's healthy and he had good feet and everything's good, he's perfectly good to keep.
Yes, sir.
And sometimes, like the Charolais bulls, they get so big, they might get big enough, they get lazy, and when they mount a cow, they'll push the cow to the ground. Well, then you got to get rid of them if they start doing that. But most of them won't. They'll breed a cow properly.
Yes, sir.
So, in general, it just depends. Down in our area, if we have by registered Angus bull,
Mm-hmm.
if you don't really pamper him properly, he's not going to last you over, a couple years,
Right.
and he'll be gone.
Right.
You
Yes, sir.
You got to keep turning them over. And that's the way with a lot of your bulls, but I find Charolais bulls hold up good down in the heat. Now, if you get up into the cold, where it's colder, the black bulls will last better,
Yes, sir.
And I've had cattle in Louisiana. That's my main base in Louisiana. But I've had cattle on up Oklahoma, right on up in Nebraska where it's cold,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm well familiar with all that. And that's why I know it's a big difference
Right.
in cattle farming here and out west. I've grazed cattle in Oklahoma on that buffalo grass.
Yes,
and
sir.
It's about that. It doesn't grow about that high, and them cattle will do the best you ever seen. And we graze cattle out there on ground it's just like when the Indians was there.
Yes,
It's
sir.
never had a tractor on it. It's never had anything on it except
Wow.
a fence put around big acres. Sometimes we may be 125 acres per cow,
Mm-hmm.
but the cattle do good if it's managed properly. If you go out in some places, you can graze, a lot more cattle per acre. It just depends on the place.
Yes, sir.
It's a lot to it. You
Mhm.
can't just one thing fits all. It doesn't work
Right.
that way.
Yes, sir. Well, thank you.
Well, you're welcome.
That was very
Maybe
helpful.
we'll work out some more questions.
Yes, sir.
Good.